So I'm privileged today to stand before you and just thank, again, for Police Department, U.S. Attorney's Office, County's Attorney Office, because in a great partnership that we have, we told you we're going to work on some gun stuff, and the partnership that we have with these three organizations, we're doing that. You're going to hear a lot about it. So I just wanted to say, as mayor, I'm so appreciative of the partnership that we have with the U.S. Attorney and the County Attorney's Office, and of course our wonderful officers in our police department that are working every day to keep you safe and get after gun crimes in Davenport. So on behalf of Davenport, thank you very much. Thank you for the partnership. Thanks for working together. And you're going to hear a good story here. So thank you for coming, and Chief Sikorsky, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just by way of introductions, I'd like to introduce Ms. Amy Devine. She's the first assistant for the County Attorney's Office, and the Honorable Mark Crickbaum, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Iowa. The three of us, or the two of us, are going to talk to you this afternoon about some investigation and federal indictments that we have done over the past week or so. So first of all and foremost, I want to commend all of the hard work of our officers, investigators, and staff navigating through these challenging times of 2020. Violent crime remains a challenge in our community, and as a staff, as a police department, and as a law enforcement community, we are committed to lowering violent crime and reducing violent crime in Davenport and in our Quad Cities. Yet we know we can't do this alone. Cooperation and help from our community is key and remains key to break this cycle of violence in our community. Violent crime is not acceptable, and it should never be considered to be the norm or acceptable in our community. We're at our fourth gun-related homicide this year here in Davenport, and 28 non-fatal shootings in our city. We've seized over 190 firearms in Davenport over the last year, since January 1, and we've filed more than 150 gun charges through our county attorney's office this year. Shootings and gun violence remain a priority for this organization and for Scott County law enforcement. We're focused on this issue. We've devoted resources specifically to these investigations. I'm very proud of our strong partnership that we have with the County Attorney's Office, the U.S. Attorney's Office, all of our federal partners, state, local law enforcement partners as well. Through these partnerships, we can collectively coordinate our investigations, identify the most violent and active offenders in our community, and work together on solutions to bring these offenders to justice. Today we have the opportunity to talk about one such group, the Lowrider Criminal Street Gang. This gang and its members have been responsible for numerous incidents involving drug sales, witness intimidation, racketeering, gun offenses, which include shots fired incidents, intimidation, and aggravated assaults with firearms. Based on prior criminal acts, several state convictions, we opened a racketeering investigation on this criminal street gang. And to talk more about that specific investigation, I'd like to introduce again the Honorable Mark Crickbaum, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Iowa.
Thank you very much, Chief. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. We are here, among other things, to announce this afternoon that 18 members and associates of the Lowrider Street Gang have recently been charged in both state court and federal court with serious crimes. Among those charges, last week, a federal grand jury returned an indictment charging 11 members and associates of the Lowriders with a host of federal crimes. As part of that investigation, The Davenport Police Department, along with numerous other law enforcement agencies, has executed search warrants at 10 locations in Davenport, and officers have arrested most of the defendants who have been charged in this federal indictment, and others will be arrested soon and brought to federal court to answer those charges. The federal indictment alleges that the Lowrider Street Gang is a criminal racketeering enterprise. According to the indictment, the members and associates of the Lowriders illegally carry guns, and as Chief Sikorsky noted, they deal drugs, and they shoot at rival gang members in Davenport and in the Quad Cities more generally. As just one example, the indictment alleges in count 1 that in August of 2015, a car full of lowriders pulled up to a house in Davenport and announced that they were, quote, king killers, meaning that they would kill members of their rival street gang, the Latin Kings. And the lowriders then opened fire at that house where people were sleeping inside. Altogether, this federal indictment alleges that members of the lowriders were responsible for 3 shootings and 1 stabbing of rival gang members in Davenport between 2015 and 2019. The indictment charges these 11 defendants with numerous federal crimes, including drug trafficking, illegal possession of firearms, and attempted murder in aid of racketeering. We also charged several of these defendants who assisted the gang by destroying evidence or tampering with witnesses or lying to a federal grand jury. The maximum penalties for the crimes that we have charged range between 10 years and life in federal prison. And in summing up these federal charges, I want to say a couple of more things in conclusion. The first is that the only reason that these prosecutions are possible is because of the tireless work of the men and women of the Davenport Police Department. And the other reason that these charges are possible is because of the partnership between the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Scott County Attorney's Office. The second and final thing I have to say is really a message for those who are perpetrating violence in Davenport. And we are particularly focused on gang members. And if you are a gang member and you are carrying a gun, or you are selling drugs, or you are engaged in violent acts in this city, you should know that we will work with all of the partners that we have mentioned here today, and we will charge you in state court or in federal court with any crime that we can prove. And so the charges, the indictments, the arrests that we're announcing today are our most recent actions to stop gang violence in Davenport, but this is the beginning of what we are prepared to do. Thank you very much.
Time just for a couple of questions, if anybody has any specific questions. I think it's pretty self-explanatory what today is all about, but if you have any questions, Tom.
Thanks. Are you guys going to have like a one sheet or something out kind of detailing more of these arrests?
Yes.
In terms of,
Yep,
okay.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mayor?
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank
And
you.
I just wanted to say again, thanks to all the officers in the Davenport Police Department, all of your staff at the county's attorney office and the U.S. Attorney's Office. Chief, outstanding work. We told you we're gonna come after you. We told you we're gonna go hard and get these gun crimes and perpetrators off the street. And this partnership is a pretty big team. We said we're gonna do it, and they're doing it. So thank you so much to your office, and of course to the officers of Davenport Police Department for doing this. We want Davenport to be a safe, stable, and welcoming community, and you see the effort here. Thank you so much. Other questions?
I got one for Ski.
Yeah.
Chief, you mentioned at least, you mentioned at least 2 street gangs in the Quad Cities. How much of a problem are street gangs in Davenport and the rest of the Quad Cities?
So we see violence from gang members in our city some, many of the shots fired incidents that we have involve street gangs. A lot of them are makeshift, if you will, neighborhood gangs, but we certainly have that issue here in the Quad Cities. And like Mark talked about, and the mayor talked about, this whole idea of a partnership, that's how you make progress and you get things done. Without the partnership, our investigators, our patrol officers, working with our federal partners at the law enforcement level, but then also our prosecutors. And you can see how key to this federal case is a lot of the hard work that our officers have put in with the county attorney's office in state prosecution of cases. So it's that partnership that really makes, it has an impact in this, and taking large groups down like this will also have an impact in our community as well.
One more?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. At the end of this, after prosecutions, would it be possible to find out where the guns came from? At least in part, where that flow of weapons are coming from?
We may be able to find that information,
Okay.
yes. Certainly information we're interested in.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, yes, one more.
Kind of put it in perspective, is this a big hit, or is this kind of tip of the iceberg thing for the city of Davenport? How do you put this in perspective?
This is a big hit for us as a city. This is a group that I can tell you we have been dealing with. I've been here 30 years. Biggsy been here for almost 30 years. We've been dealing with the street gangs since I came on. Yeah, so this is a really good operation for us, and they have been very active in our community over the last several years. So again, the partnership that we've had with not just law enforcement, but with prosecution as well, state and federal, it makes all this possible. Our city administrator talks to me a lot about that partnership, how it's a force multiplier. I know our U.S. Attorney's Office, our County Attorney's Office, and law enforcement here, we know we rely on each other. We have to have each other, and that partnership is key. Thank you all for being here and spreading the message for us.
Thank you.